Hello and welcome back to the One Story at a Time. I'm Brenda, and this episode is for adult English learners who want to use English, not just study it, but practice. And today we're going to train one skill, a very practical one. Da-da-da-da-da. Paraphrasing. Yeah, paraphrasing means saying the same idea in different words. And here's the only rule you need to remember: don't need perfect English. Short answers are welcome and take your time. Pause the video. Now, let me tell you a story. A couple of weeks ago, I applied for a job at a fast food restaurant that specializes in roast beef. At the time, I was working at a different fast food place, one that's popular with kids and has a big letter on its sign. I wanted something more stable, better hours, more consistency, and a chance to get leadership experience. So I applied for a shift manager role. They texted me on Monday and asked me to interview on Thursday. And that's when the cancellations began. Yeah. First, they texted and said that the manager wasn't working that day, so we rescheduled. Then they texted again and said that the general manager had a family emergency. So we rescheduled again. Then they texted a third time, only 30 minutes before the interview, saying that they were too busy. Finally, the interview happened. But honestly, it barely felt like an interview. They asked a few questions and then they talked for most of the time about how great the job sounded. 2 week schedules, early notice, 40 hours guaranteed, possible overtime and flexibility with my work days. At the end, they offered me the job and I accepted. I said I needed 2 weeks to give notice at my current job. They agreed. I worked those 2 weeks, and during that time, we kept checking with the new place to confirm my start date. Then, a few days before I was supposed to start, my boyfriend and I went to the new restaurant just to verify the exact date. About an hour later, I got a text. Because it was winter and business was lower, they were cutting hours and staff. And because of that, they decided not to hire me after all. So, after weeks of rescheduling and after I quit my old job, the new job simply disappeared. Now, let's use this story. We're not doing a grammar lecture here, so just paraphrasing, just focusing on the meaning today. Paraphrasing means keeping the same idea but changing the words, the tenses. You can do that by using a synonym, changing the sentence shape, using a different verb, or replacing details with a general idea. Let's practice together in this episode. I'm really happy that you are here with me. So listen first, then pause, then say your version out loud, okay? First one, I wanted more stable hours. Paraphrase this phrase. My answer, I wanted a more consistent schedule. Second phrase, I applied for a shift manager role. My answer, I applied for a supervisor position. They canceled the interview. The answer, they called off. We rescheduled for next week. We moved it to the following week. They were too busy. They said they had a lot going on. Check yourself right now and let's raise the level a little. Same process. You're going to listen, to pause, and speak. And the first phrase is the interview wasn't much of an interview. My answer. It felt more like an informal chat than a real interview. They talked about the job environment. My answer. They spent most of the time explaining how things work there. They offered me the job and I accepted. They gave me an offer and I said yes. I needed 2 weeks to put in my notice. I needed 2 weeks to finish my notice period. We kept checking to confirm my start date. We stayed in contact to make sure my start date was still set. They decided not to hire me after all. The answer, in the end, they backed out. If you ever freeze, you can always borrow a frame with me here. You can start with, in other words, basically. What I mean is, let's try one. After weeks of rescheduling, the job disappeared. Basically, after many delays, the opportunity was gone. Now try this on your own. Say each sentence once, then paraphrase it in two different ways. Okay? Phrase number one, I took a risk and applied for a manager position. They changed the interview date 3 times. The job sounded perfect to my schedule. I quit my old job because I trusted the offer. And I'm bringing in a bonus challenge. You're going to paraphrase without using these words: job, interview, and busy. Prohibited words over here. What I want you to think is paraphrasing is not about sounding smarter, it's about sounding clearer. And when you can say the same idea in two, three different ways, you gain control. And that's real fluency. So it's basically this. Thanks so much if you stayed until the end here with me. I'm really happy that you took the time to practice. Don't take this lesson as passive, as just passive. Do the practice, do the exercises with me. I promise that you're going to get good results from it. And until next time, one story at a time. Bye bye.